Hey,
Yes, I wanted to, fade in real quick because the time is now 9:25, so we're gonna hit up with Mike real quick. We have a couple of new songs. Ben already called in just to get it started and popping.
Right,
and
right.
You said
Ben,
you're
I appreciate that.
ready. Yes,
I'm ready, man.
Yes. So we got our Royal Remix, edition usually that we have popping off, but we're gonna go ahead and have Mike Plummer take over this time. So, we have 3 tracks, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to play for you. One of them is None of My Business, but I'm about to get all in your business.
Get in it.
Yes. So go ahead and tell everybody, really, how did you become, who you are today as an artist?
I think I became the way I am because, like I said, my dad is real hip hop. He influenced me with good music from the beginning. You know what I mean? I was growing up and I was like, I like hip hop, Dad. And I remember the dude had a yard sale down the street and he had Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life Volume 2. My dad's real old school. And he's like, man, I don't really know who this Jay-Z cat is. But I'm gonna show you a little bit about some Slick Rick and Grandmaster Flash. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put you on some real shit, right? So from that day, man, I just fell in love with hip hop from a young child, and then. And then like I've been through some shit, man. You know what I mean? Like on the Eastern Shore, it's not.
Talk about it.
It's not like the big city, and we don't have like the violence of the city, and like that shit is like seems far away for us.
Right.
But at the same time, we got our own struggles. Right now, like drugs is a big thing, man, going on, and like if you on that shit and you listening, man, you got to go talk to somebody, because I've been there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like I had kind of like a rebirth from that, because like I always like hip hop. I was the kid like hopping in the cypher with everybody at school, and I was.
I'm you on the cypher?
Yeah.
Always. You on the cypher
always.
Tonight? You gotta be a dope MC to rock
So-
the mic. Oh, anybody remember that? Yo, that was like my shit. That was yes. You know what? We
Right.
might have to do a little remix for that on Quavy Radio. But go ahead.
Right. So like I'd be in school and like people be rapping, and like I'm a humble dude. I may come across like a little bit up front, but like when it comes to music, like I know I work so hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? I work hard and I respect everybody. Like I always respect everybody working. Mm-hmm. And like I would like see people like rapping in school and like spin some bars or something. I'd be like, man, I can do this better than him. You know what I mean? I'm like, I can do this better than, like, no disrespect.
Yeah.
Like, the truth is the truth. So I'm like, I can do this better than this guy. So I would get in. I remember, and you know what I mean? And hip hop is a black culture, and I'm white. So I would get into the thing.
You're right. I didn't notice.
Right.
Yeah, you got that little red on you.
But that's what I'm saying. So I would walk into it, and I just started spitting bars, and like everybody's like, it came around to me, and the dude tried to skip me the first time and try to hop over to the next dude, and I just started spitting some bars, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I was ready. I went into it
Put
ready.
some respect on my name.
Right,
like,
pulling up
what
on
you
our
mean?
trio.
Yeah. Nice.
So I mean, I said, and then like from that day, I got respect. You know what I mean? As a rapper at the time. Now I'm an artist, you know what I mean? I consider myself an artist. Like I said, I work hard, and my sister over there in the corner, man, she works real hard, and she don't get to get none of the credit. Like I get the views, and people are like, oh, you know what I mean? You're doing good, like you know what I mean, this and that, but she don't get to get none of that. And like she does a lot behind the scenes, like
right.
You know what I mean? The websites, the production, the engineering of the music, you know what I mean? And I always like to give her a shout out. But I mean, like I said, it was about 5 or 6 years ago, man. I had that rebirth. I was, you know what I mean, going down a bad path, and I was like, you know what I mean, I'm done with this shit. I'm getting ready to get back to hip hop, to what I love. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like fuck what everybody else wants me to be. Like college is not for me. Like, but if you went to college and you did great, then that's awesome. You did something that I can't do.
Right.
But like hip hop is what I was born to do. You know what I mean? So I'm doing that, and you know what I mean, and I'm ripping. Like DJ Khaled said, I'm ripping the hinges off the door and putting them in the fuckboys' hands every time they try to build a door. You know what I mean? Every different level, there's a different devil trying to get me, and I'm gonna stiff arm his ass again. You know what I mean?
I hear that, Mike. Man, you just really you really said some deep stuff there. Go ahead, DJ.
All right. As I was listening to one of your songs, I heard you was saying that you started rapping when you was like 5 years old. Correct?
Right.
So, like, as a guy coming from Eastern Shore, do you find it harder coming out the way you work? Than any other artist that's coming out?
What do you mean, as far as like to come up and like come from that small place?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I definitely like, I used to be like, man, this is like fucked up. We gotta get out of the city. But now, like, I don't like no excuses. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I flip that shit. I'm gonna use it to my advantage. And you know what I mean? That's where like when I say like I got the shore on my back, like I'm trying to like. Well, I am not trying. I'm carrying everybody and getting out and getting on that platform. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's tough because I'm from a small town, and like. hip hop's not really accepted at the venues like that. You know what I mean? Where I'm from, like, you know, like we would book you, but like you cuss a little bit too much. You talk about this and that. Like we, you know what I mean? We want something different.
Always
Which
trying
that's
to put
fine.
a hold on you.
And for me, but see, what I'm doing, like I'm gonna keep it real all the time. I'm not gonna change just to play at that venue. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I'm always gonna keep it real and keep it true to myself. You know.
I definitely feel that, man.
So-
also, one more question: as who inspired you to rap in hip hop?
Who inspired me? I'm gonna have to, like, some of my like I think when you grow up at like a crucial time, I'm talking about like when you're trying to like figure out who you are, you're going through a lot of changes, and you listen, like, and the music that really inspired me was like that New York shit, like the DMX, the Jada Kiss, you know what I mean?
DMX is my dude.
You know what I mean? DMX is that dude, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And then definitely, you know what I mean? A heavy influence of Eminem, you know what I mean? It's like the greats, man. Jigga, you know what I mean? Like them dudes, like that's the shit I like, man.
Dope.
That real
That's what I
shit,
like to
you know
hear,
what I
man.
mean?
All right, well, look, we're going to go ahead and look. So this is going to be a first listen for me. This is going to be a first listen for Queen Bee radio listeners as well. This is None of My Business. This is Mike Plummer, all the way from the Eastern Shore.
Can I say something real quick about this record? When I wrote this record, I remember the feeling I had when I wrote it.
Go ahead.
It was because I was getting into, like, I was really starting to try to, like, break into, like, the industry and work with people. And it's like, I found out everything is really, like, a facade. Like, you know what I mean? I see people driving these cars and wearing this shit in the video, and then like when the video's done, you gotta get that shit back. You know what I mean? So like when I wrote that song is when I actually came to the realization that this shit really ain't what it seems, and I'm not gonna be that guy doing that shit. You know what I mean?
All right, dope. So you saying a little bit more rap conscious kind of came through.
Right,
all right, well,
right.
we're going to check it out. All right,
Like
it's None of
that.
My Business. Let's go.